Let me tell you of the days of high adventure.
Hello, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin.
And this is 6 Degrees of Schwarzenegger, the podcast where we take a long, hard look at some of our favorite action movies from the era of Arnold.
Schwarzenegger is the icon of the genre, and we're taking a deep dive into some of these 80s and 90s cult action movies and breaking them all the way down.
Oh man, we're back.
Oh, we're so back.
Had a bit of a delay. It's a bit of the delay, but it'll be worth it. Everybody trust us. It is going to be worth it.
It's worth it, man. When this podcast was only a twinkle in my eye. This is one of the movies that I was excited to talk about because it should be great for discussion.
Yeah.
It's one of Schwarzenegger's comedies.
It is probably his best comedy, in my opinion.
I'll give it away.
Yes.
It's Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah, okay,
people.
we can go ahead. I mean, I feel like they saw that in the title of the episode.
True.
But
That's true.
Yeah, we can go ahead and say the name of the movie officially.
This and Twins, I adore.
Yep, I love both of those movies. Yep.
So and it feels like it's the Ivan Reitman trilogy.
Yeah.
With Junior, which I have not ever seen.
Really?
No, it's in my little Schwarzenegger comedy box set, but I haven't watched it yet. So we'll get to it, I assume, at some point.
It's 94, so it's well within our wheelhouse.
I'm sort of excited to go into it completely cold.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Not having seen it before, but that's for another time. Though.
I haven't seen it in a very long time. I haven't seen it as many times as I've seen this movie.
Oh, I saw this a lot. Did you grow up on this?
I grew up on this movie big time.
Hey, dogs, chill out. Neither of you are getting anything.
I know.
They're fighting over the pets.
Yeah, they're fighting over the pets. I got plenty of pets for both of you.
Sorry, listeners. We're dealing with dogs here.
Everywhere. Dogs everywhere.
I got my girlfriend's dog here, and this dog's an attention whore.
Yes, indeed. There's no question about it.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Kindergarten Cop, a movie I've seen probably 100 times.
Oh yeah, I've seen it so long.
I feel like when I was a little kid, I would watch it probably once a month. Like we had it, I think, recorded off TV because I remember some weird edits around some language that are in the movie. But yeah, the movie's fucking. It holds up, man.
It really does. I mean, I haven't seen the movie in several years now. And you can back me up on this. I started watching it, and within 20 minutes into the movie, I text you. It's like, Kevin, this movie's damn good still.
Yeah. Honestly, it's got to be one of the best, the most high quality, viewing experience films that we've ever done on the podcast.
I agree.
And it's a crowd pleaser. I feel like you could probably get anyone from a child to a grandparent to an action movie junkie to someone who likes rom-coms.
It's a straight up four quadrant comedy.
It hits all the boxes, and it's also one of Schwarzenegger's best performances.
I think so too. Yeah, straight up.
He's actually acting and it's actually working. It's crazy.
It is.
It's he was in a zone, I feel like, at this point in his career. He was on a run of amazing movies.
Unstoppable.
It was his ascendance to being the most famous person in the world. I feel like when T2 was his next movie up, and that's the one.
That's 91, right?
Yeah. That's the one that made him okay, he's officially bigger than Stallone. He's the biggest star in the world now.
Yep, exactly. Well, let's go ahead and get into it.
Yeah, there's so much to talk about. So it's directed by Ivan Reitman, who was the director of Twins, director of Ghostbusters and Stripes.
Classic comedy director.
He's one of those. Yeah, he's one of those comedy royalty guys. He came up with when all the SNL, the Bill Murrays and the Dan Aykroyds and John Candys and all were cutting their teeth. He was right there with him directing some of the best movies from the time. Written by a guy named Murray Salem. The one and only idea that this guy ever had, because I literally, it was this screenplay, and then he got a sort of a concept credit for Kindergarten Cop Part 2.
Oh, right, which famously stars Dolph Lundgren, apparently?
Dolph Lundgren and Bill Bellamy.
Oh, my God.
From MTV, 90s MTV fame.
Never even knew that existed.
Me neither. I've not seen it. Apparently it's out there, I think streaming on Peacock, so
okay, all right.
Maybe it's worth checking out.
We'll have to,
It must have been so similar to this that they felt the need to give that guy the screenwriting credit for that as well, because it's the same concept.
Basic premise. Yeah,
guess,
exactly.
Yeah. But they had some other people attached, a guy named Herschel Weingrod and Timothy Harris, they were like, I guess, a writing team.
Okay.
Because they wrote Trading Places, they wrote Brewster's Millions, and they wrote Twins. They wrote Space Jam.
This is
together.
Like kind of comedy, like 80s and 90s comedy royalty right
So
here.
they probably had the great idea.
Yeah.
You bring in some like gifted comedy writers to punch it up or whatever.
Well, I mean, the script is just perfect. I mean,
it's great.
It's just like it is.
The story's great.
The story's great.
It's
the
well written.
characters
The
make
jokes
sense.
are hilarious.
Right. The characters have like legitimate motivations and reasons to be doing what they're doing.
It's kind of crazy for this podcast. It's kind of like we're not used to such a high quality product.
I know. I was a little bit shocked. Actually, part of me was worried. I was like, can we do this? Like, is this too good?
No, I think there's plenty. There's plenty because this movie's like chock full of so many amazing one-liners and the great catchphrases and stuff like
Which
that.
we will get to. We're not going to spoil them all at the top.
We can't do it.
No, we got to save them.
But produced by Brian Grazer and Ivan Reitman.
Mm-hmm.
And Grazer was that guy. He's like most known for being Ron Howard's creative partner.
Right.
I feel like.
And with insane hair.
With insane hair, his list of credits is absolutely incredible.
Infinitely long.
He's got to be so rich, like hundreds of millions of dollars, I would think. He's like that Jerry Bruckheimer type, done just blockbuster after blockbuster.
Yeah, just like nothing but hits for the most part. I mean, just bonkers how many hits this guy produced.
And if we can believe the trivia online, apparently this was meant to be a movie directed by Ron Howard. So I guess that makes sense.
It follows, yeah.
But then when Schwarzenegger came on, he like demanded that it be Reitman or he didn't want to do it. And Schwarzenegger got his way.
I mean,
for better or worse.
At the time, he was the most famous person in the world.
Yeah. Ron Howard probably could have done a great job with this movie as well, because this definitely fit like in with, Big and the other stuff he was doing, the lighthearted stuff he was doing back then.
Yeah.
Music is by a guy named Randy Edelman, who wrote a ton of comedy scores, including Twins. And a lot of the music in this movie sounds like virtually identical to stuff in Twins. I probably will drop a sample in for you guys to listen, like right now. Okay, so there you have it. You be your own judge. But I would say this movie had a great score, though.
Yeah, I mean, it was perfect. It was perfect for the movie.
The themes were really heartwarming and touching and like sentimental and everything you would want.
Agreed. And they are there's a consistency in tone that we're not used to on this podcast.
No random like madcap music and then like whatever. I mean, but
just flashbacks of Showdown in Little Tokyo right now. That was just all over the place.
But this dude, Randy Edelman, apparently wrote the music also in My Cousin Vinny, The Mask, Angels in the Outfield. He also did Daylight, a Stallone flick.
Oh, that's right.
He did The Quest, a Van Damme flick.
Daylight was actually better than I think people gave it credit for.
They were trapped in a tunnel or something?
Yeah, they were trapped, and they were like, in a subway tunnel, and they were trying to escape.
Okay.
And he was trying to guide this group of civilians out of this tunnel.
I feel like I saw it one time.
I think it got a lot of shit because it was PG-13, and it was like, wait, Stallone's in a PG-13 movie? But
That's
it was
valid.
Actually really good.
And he also, I don't know how this works, but he and one other guy were credited as being like the composers on Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, interesting.
Which had like an awesome score.
Yeah. Wow.
That one was like super memorable for me.
That's crazy. Okay.
I don't know. Usually you don't see like two guys, music score by Randy Edelman and someone else.
Yeah,
but
right.
However that works, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then cinematography was by Michael Chapman, who's like a frequent Scorsese collaborator. He was a cinematographer on Taxi Driver and Raging Bull.
Wow.
He also did The Lost Boys.
Wow.
And he did The Fugitive, and he did Space Jam also.
I just feel like there was no chance that this wasn't going to be a good movie. The amount of talent attached to this is overwhelming.
And the film looks great.
It looks, shot beautifully.
Yeah. So the cast is Arnold Schwarzenegger,
of course,
front and center, Detective John Kimball. Maybe the first movie ever, I think, where Schwarzenegger never took his shirt off.
You're right. There is no topless scene for him.
Yeah, no
Wow.
muscle porn, really.
Yeah.
And he has apparently said this was like the most favorite role he ever played in his career.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
I think because he got to play like against type and got to show that he could do more than just take his shirt off.
And I think in one interview or another, he talked about how much he really enjoyed being around the kids. And one of the reasons he was originally attracted to it is because he had just had his first kid.
Right. So it also stars this actress named Pamela Reed as Detective Phoebe O'Hara, who I don't really know her from other shit either.
She's a character actor. I recognize her immediately.
She's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
She played Amy Poehler's mom on Parks and Rec.
That is where I recognize her from. Thank you.
She was in Junior, apparently, which I haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm.
Then she was in Proof of Life, which is a movie I really loved.
Oh, wow. I've never seen Proof of Life.
Russell Crowe is like the kidnap rescue specialist or whatever. That movie was fucking great.
I never saw it. I'll have to watch that.
Then you were telling me originally this role was like they wanted Harold Ramis to play this character, his partner.
Yeah, it was originally written as a male character.
Strange.
And Ivan Reitman tried to get his buddy Harold to play it.
Yeah.
And Ramis was like, no. He didn't, he just didn't think
he had
it was
other
the
shit
right.
going on as well. And it's just strange to imagine like anyone other than a female partner.
Right.
Female partner's like perfect for this.
Yeah, and apparently they auditioned a ton of male actors. No one fit.
Okay.
And so Reitman went back and worked with the screenwriters to change it into rewrite it as a female character. And then immediately Pamela Reed showed up and they're like, yeah, that's it. Right?
I mean, the chemistry is great between those two.
They've got great chemistry.
And like the fact that he's like huge and she's very diminutive is great, you know? Like,
well, and then like when she's playing his sister, I mean, we'll get to it, but it's so good. It's so funny.
She had to have come up like through improv.
I've got to believe
she is amazing.
Yeah.
At the shit. Anyway. All right. Then we got Penelope Ann Miller playing the character of Joyce.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that I'm really familiar with her from is Carlito's Way.
I scrolled through her IMDb page. Other than Carlito's Way, she's done a ton of TV shows that I've never watched.
A lot of movies that I've never watched.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't.
So she had a career.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For
yeah.
sure. She may still be
successful,
working.
but she's got like 9 things that are upcoming right now. It's insane.
So she's just like a working actor, and
exactly.
she's really good in this.
No, she's great.
That's the thing about this movie is every performance is really good,
and like everybody has good chemistry. Like I believe that Arnie and Penelope, like their characters would fall in love. Like it's totally believable.
It's so strange because that is not Arnold's strong suit.
No, it is not. No, he completely nails it. Anyway,
speaking of like amazing casting, there's Linda Hunt playing the principal Schlowski.
Love Linda Hunt, just so great. Everything that she's been in.
It had to be the role of a lifetime for her. I feel like this one is like so perfect. But she was in David Lynch's Dune.
Mm-hmm.
She was in a movie called The Year of Living Dangerously, which I've heard of.
With Mel Gibson.
I haven't seen that one though.
It's a really good movie.
Okay.
Really good movie. Wasn't she the inspiration for the Taylor in The Incredibles?
Yes.
Okay.
But she didn't do the voice, I don't think.
No, she didn't do the voice. But
that's her look. She's like, she's very small.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably like 4'6" or something like that.
Yeah.
And like just very like had a stern look to her.
Just perfect for a principal. Perfect for a principal. Yeah.
And we had Richard Tyson playing Cullen Crisp, the villain.
Who is super recognizable.
Yeah.
But for the life of me, I didn't place him. I was like, where have I seen you from?
He's in several Farrelly Brothers movies.
Okay.
Including There's Something About Mary. He's like the guy who's roughing Ben Stiller up in the interrogation room.
Oh, okay.
He was in Black Hawk Down. He was in a lot of movies not doing a lot. It seems like he should have gone on to greater stardom. I feel like because he had such a look about him.
And he was good in this movie.
He was good at doing what he was doing.
Yeah. Anyway,
he's from Mobile, Alabama. I saw when I was Googling him. Like he recently has been in trouble in Mobile, been arrested for harassment and like stalking and shit like that. So
sucks.
His life's taken a turn.
That sucks.
He's probably listening right now.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Cullen.
Yeah, Richard Tyson, you were fucking like killer in this. Make a comeback, bro.
Yeah, you're right.
Come
Get
on
it
the
back
podcast.
together. Yeah, come on in. We'd love to talk about kindergarten
Mobile,
with you.
We'll pay for your Greyhound.
But no better than Greyhound.
No, I'm sorry. No Spirit
We're not
Air.
made of money
no
on this
Spirit
podcast.
Air for you, my friend. And then the main little kid, Dominic, was played by twins, Joseph and Christian Cousins.
Also very endearing.
Yeah, good little kid actors.
I mean, like I usually hate kid actors in movies, like
especially the twins. Man, they're creepy.
Oh yeah, exactly. And This movie, though, there is not a kid in this movie who is not just immediately lovable. Right?
Yeah.
Like just unbelievably.
It's nuts. I did see something like they auditioned like 2,000 kids or something to make the classroom of kindergartners.
Elijah Wood was one of them.
Yeah.
And
that didn't make sense to me. I don't know. He would have been too old to be a kindergartner, I think.
I don't. Well, maybe
he was like 9 at the time.
Yeah, maybe it was for like one of the upper grade classmen.
It could have been, but I don't know. But I read the same thing.
Yeah, in an interview, he said it was the worst audition he's ever done in his life.
I can't believe he even like remembers,
Yeah.
But yeah, as they do a lot of times, they cast twins because like one kid's got like limits on the amount of hours they're allowed to work or whatever. So they work 2 of them. I wondered when you have like twins like this, is one like a better actor than the other?
I don't know.
Or do you think they're like pretty identical?
I suspect at that age they're probably about the same.
Yeah,
but
it'd be crazy if one was a good actor and the other one sucked.
Oh, that was and you could tell in the scenes.
Like, yeah, we're gonna use you as mostly like a stand-in while we're shooting everyone else's stuff.
When we're shooting everybody else's coverage.
Bring in the A kid, bring in the hero kid when it's time to.
God.
I don't know.
That would fuck with my self-esteem if I was the B kid in a twin relationship.
We don't let you talk.
Oh my God.
You just sit there looking like your brother. That's what we need from you. But yeah, man. That's I'm ready to talk about the plot.
All right, let's get started.
There's a lot of plot to it. It's like a tightly wound script, as you say.
It is. It's very, very tight. I watched it, and one of the things I always do when I watch movies is like, just because I'm a snob and I'm a horrible person, but I'm like, what scenes could I cut out of this movie?
Yeah, right.
Like, what scenes could I cut, and then this movie would still make sense and actually make it snappier and punchier, right? There really isn't any scenes like that.
This is a very economical script. It was like whatever cuts got made, presumably in the edit room and in the screenwriting process, all like nailed it.
The one that I would have loved to see, apparently there's an entire C storyline with Stephen Root. Every single one of his scenes were cut from the movie. And I'm like,
was he another guy in Astoria?
Yeah, he was another guy in Astoria that apparently had another storyline. Maybe he was one of the fathers. I don't know, but they cut every single one of his scenes.
Where'd you read that?
Movie. Just on IMDb.
I tried to dig deep and I didn't see that one.
No, it was crazy.
We want the Stephen Root cut. We want to at least see the deleted scenes.
Stephen Root is one of my favorite actors. It broke my heart when I heard that they cut his role from this movie.
So my ex-aunt-in-law was like a drama person up in New York.
Oh, cool.
Like, and coming up, she worked a lot with Wayne Knight. She worked a lot with Stephen Root.
Oh, wow.
And apparently she said Stephen Root's like the most genuine, like friendly, nice person in the world. And she worked,
I'm glad to hear that, frankly.
She worked a little bit with Bruce Willis.
Oh, wow.
And said Bruce Willis was like a natural born star and he kind of knew it. Because he would like work as a bartender, as probably they all did back then, and he would just like take home a different girl every night or whatever. Anyway, some guys have all the
hilarious.
Anyway, okay, so
in another life I would have been a bartender. Here we go. This is a Universal Pictures film.
The 75th anniversary animation.
Which is still, I love it. I love all of the different.
We had just seen that same on Lionheart, I think.
Yeah.
All the movies that came out in that year of the anniversary or whatever. I think Back to the Future 3 was the first one with that.
And maybe this is a controversial opinion. I don't know. My favorite movie studio jingle. Like there's not like it's like 20th Century Fox is super famous, but I think that's mostly because of Star Wars.
Yeah.
But
and then the one from Warner Brothers is Casablanca.
Yeah, Casablanca.
So this one I think is its own thing.
It's its own thing.
I dig it.
Yeah, and it's love it.
This is my favorite edition of like the opening Universal animation too, with the
planet that comes around.
Yeah, I dig this one. This was the one that was like on Jurassic Park.
That's right. It was on Jurassic Park.
The movies of my coming of age.
Right, exactly. The parts where I start actually having memories, and not just memories, but I can like have memories and be able to think about them in an abstract way, right? Like anyway, whatever. That's a different podcast.
Check into the philosophy, the psychology.
The
podcast.
Psychology, yes, exactly. Which we're working on right now. We're still workshopping, and we haven't got it nailed down.
We're looking for sponsors.
Anyway, so we cut to a very crowded shopping mall, which looked, I don't know, exactly like the shopping mall from Time Cop.
Oh yeah.
It looked exactly like it.
Well, it looked like the one that it was in my town when I was a kid too, or like when I was like a teenager as well.
Okay,
I think it's just like the mall design.
Okay,
I'm sure it was some mall in the valley or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It was. It was in L.A. It was in L.A. somewhere.
L.A.'s probably had like a mall every square mile though. At least one mall.
Yeah,
at that
not
time.
anymore. But yeah, when I was even living there, even in the beginning of the 2000s.
Oh yeah.
in the early 2000s. You couldn't throw a rock without hitting a mall.
This is like the era of mall rats, kind of. Yeah,
this wasn't. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so you crane up on this bridge, which I was half expecting to see Jean-Claude Van Damme standing on, looking at himself kissing Miyasara, who she's like coming out and she's like in movies again.
Oh yeah? Where's she
Still
been?
Gorgeous, unbelievably gorgeous. I don't even know. She was just on a red carpet somewhere, and I saw a few photos of her, and I'm like, oh my god, she's got a little gray in her hair now.
Still got it,
man. Just still unbelievably. Famously, everybody knows that I've got a horrible crush on her. But so there is no JCVD. Instead, we see Detective John Kimball. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. He's like just really burnt out, has the most hilarious sunglasses. His hair is just like he just got electrocuted or something. I don't know what they were going for. Massive trench coat.
We've never seen Arnold with like a beard like this.
Exactly.
Sort of it was a straight. He just didn't look himself.
No, he did. He looked very different from what you're used to.
Yeah, it is a weird. Like something was weird about the beard. It looked fake. I'm pretty sure if it was fake, they could have got even a more realistic looking one.
I agree.
So it probably was real.
So it was probably real. Also, he's trying to be incognito in this moment. That is not the outfit you wear to be incognito. So
I was digging the titles with like the crayon
with
style.
The crayon,
that was cool for the movie.
And the score was like playful but also serious because this is a serious scene. And So he's watching from upstairs this very well coiffed man who is we learn is Crisp. And he's just walking around. He's got this hilarious ponytail, and he's walking around the fountain below.
Did you know he was dressed just like the Yakuza from Showdown in Little Tokyo?
Was he? I didn't
was like
notice.
The big suit with a wild pattern shirt on.
I mean, it was a big suit, yes, but I don't remember the one. Okay.
That hair looks like a wig, but I'm sure it's real.
Sure
it's real hair. It's just ridiculously thick.
So Chris walks off. He's very suspicious. We don't really know why. We have no context for what's going on. We know that Arnie's the good guy because it's Arnie, and therefore Chris must be the bad guy.
He looked so sleasy, man. Chris.
He
looked like a porn producer.
Well, he's got like
a
hella widow's peak, right?
Yeah, and it was just crazy. He's probably scouting talent.
Yeah, exactly. So Kimball continues to follow upstairs. I love that no one notices him. Like no one finds this getup suspicious whatsoever. Like, realistically, Crisp looks fine for an LA person.
Sure, yeah.
Kimball looks like he's going to rob something.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So Crisp stops, he flirts with a lady, and then he disappears around a corner. And so Kimball, like, rushes downstairs, and he rushes around a corner, and he sees Crisp, like, talking to an older woman in a salon. Right.
And then someone came around and was like some younger chick came and he was chatting her up too.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, I wonder how strong Crisp's game is. He's
he's
working it.
Yeah,
I imagine he does. He's probably like, hey baby, I love your look. Have you ever been in movies?
I could make you a star, girl.
Absolutely.
I love this point where when Kimball's running down the escalator and he pushes this very heavyset woman to the side. And she goes, shithead. I'm sure this is just a coincidence. She looked exactly like the mask that he wore in Total Recall.
But we don't think it was her?
I don't know. I just was like, she said shithead, and she looked exactly.
While you talk, I'm going to Google that. If that's her, that's going to blow my mind.
I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that I thought it looked awful lot
I'm gonna check. I mean, the timing would be right.
Yeah.
Like, I think Total Recall was like the flick he did right before this one.
88?
I think it came out 90. I think it came out earlier this same year.
Oh, yeah, you're right. It did.
I think so. They probably had a lot of post-production.
Yeah.
Kindergarten Cop's the type that you can just like, it probably could be filmed and in theaters in a couple of months later, Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, totally. Anyway, while this is happening, we cut to like a storage closet or something. And there's two junkies and they're very, very, very nervous and they're talking to each other. And the girl is telling the guy that like, look, the information that we have, that should be worth at least $1,000, right? And he goes, yeah. You need to get out of sight because I told him I was going to come alone. And so she hides behind a conveniently human-sized box. A conveniently human-sized empty box.
That box made me laugh out loud.
Like, what item in a mall needs that size, I guess?
That was a weird space they were in.
It was a weird space.
There was like weird shit in that room.
I feel like the production designer looked at the script and just said cluttered storage room, and he's like, cool, I love this. And just went to town.
It looked like there was like these large cheetahs and giant like paper mache heads, like something him from like a parade or something. I don't know
what was going on.
I can confirm, at least according to IMDb, it was not the same woman on the escalator as the 3 weeks or whatever. 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Get ready for a surprise. What a role that woman had.
Oh man, classic. She'll go down in
She's
history.
been barely in any other movies, apparently.
I mean, do you really have to be in another movie
no,
after
that's
that?
your typecast.
Yeah. I love the idea too. I actually like if they went to the mall that they filmed this movie in and they got to the storage room and the production designer looked at the insanity and went, well, my job here is done.
Yes.
So anyway, we cut back to Crisp and he's putting on some leather gloves and he like ducks into an employees only area.
The gloves, that's an ominous sign.
It is. You never want a bad guy putting on gloves. Bad shit's about to go down. Kimbo follows moments later, but he loses Crisp in the back hallways.
Yeah.
Which I love these. Like, I've been in the back hallways of malls and like, that's a real thing. It's a fucking maze back there.
I worked at the mall in high school and it was like pretty accurate.
It's
crazy.
Like,
none of the doors are marked.
Nope.
It's just like corridors and
you just have
stuff
to
going
know
everywhere.
where you're going.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're never going to survive that.
Yeah.
It's like straight up the backrooms meme, if you're familiar with this kind of current. Okay, that's a whole other podcast. Anyway, so Chris finds the junkie guy and this is like, hey, I hear you've got some information about my family. And the junkie goes, yeah, but it's going to cost you $1,000. Chris just looks menacing. He doesn't say anything. And then the druggie just immediately starts negotiating with himself and dropping the price.
He's not a master negotiator.
No. This guy...
Chris didn't even say no.
Shouldn't
and he's
go on
already
Shark Tank.
dropping the price. I mean, I'd take 700.
Anyway, so Crisp is suspiciously looking around to make sure there's nobody else in this spot.
But he looks everywhere except the human-sized box.
Except the human-sized box. Fatal flaw. Crisp is human-sized box blind. Anyway, he tells the junkie, you tell me what you know and I'll take good care of you, which is, of course...
Nothing ominous, nothing suspicious there.
The junkie, of course, goes along with it.
Oh, yeah, sure, that sounds fair.
Yeah, he reveals all the information. I love a junkie or a drug dealer who's willing to travel for his work.
Yeah.
He apparently was in fucking Oregon.
Don't you think he was he must have been muling or something?
He had to have been doing a mule. Right, exactly. Yeah. That's the only reason it would be in Astoria, fucking Oregon.
Yeah.
And while in Astoria, he sees Crisp's ex-wife.
Yeah.
And just couldn't, it was like, oh my God, okay. Once he says this, Crisp's attention, he gets his attention. And the junkie tells Crisp that she looked like $1 million, more like $3 million.
And the junkie laughed.
The junkie laughs
The
at
girlfriend
himself.
had said something earlier about she took off with his money or something. The woman he was looking for had taken off with his money.
Right.
We gather that's what we're thinking is going on.
Exactly. Yeah, because $3 million is what she theoretically absconded with.
Right.
Anyway, the junkie says that he saw her taking Crisp's son into school and the kid looked very happy and he looked healthy. He says it's a real nice, healthy place where they're living. It snows in the winter there.
Which it really doesn't.
It really doesn't, though.
I Googled that.
No.
It snows there like it snows here in Atlanta. It's
right. Rarely.
They average an inch a year.
Yeah. Oregon is just like Seattle. It's a very temperate location.
You get up in the elevation and I'm sure it snows,
but not
on
the
coastline. No,
Story's
really.
on the coast. You're never going to get snow in Astoria.
every once in a blue moon, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, whatever. People. Whatever.
I don't expect the junkie to know that.
No. That's fine. I feel like he was embellishing for reasons. I'm willing to steel man that. So anyway, Chris demands to know where the guy, where Astoria Elementary was, and he's like, "Well, Astoria, Oregon."
Yeah.
And Chris was like, "Did you tell anybody else about this?" And the junkie says, "No, I'm not stupid, Mr. Crisp." Which okay. So,
famous last words.
Yeah, exactly. All of a sudden, Crisp turns around, shoots him in the chest. He's down for the count.
Yeah.
Famous bad guy line. You're not?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm confused by a few things here.
All right, let's do it. Let's hear it.
One is, why would Chris think or be concerned that the guy would have told other people this information? If he wants to be paid for the info, it doesn't make sense that he would be telling other people.
Right.
Nor does it make a lot of sense why Chris would even care.
No.
If he told other people.
So who cares if the junkie tells people, hey, I told Crisp that his wife is in Astoria, Oregon. No one cares about that.
The other thing is, I don't know why it's preferable to kill this guy rather than just pay him.
Right, exactly. I know. It's just, okay, so
this
now,
dude definitely would have taken $500.
Right, exactly. He would have taken probably $30.
Yeah. or like a hit of like a few ounces of drugs.
Right. And like if he hadn't killed the junkie, like the scene that's about to happen would not have happened. Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I think maybe it's just to demonstrate that Crisp is like a psycho killer.
Absolutely. That's absolutely what this scene is supposed to establish. This is a bad dude.
He'll kill anyone for no reason at all, really.
We're not trying to humanize
over a trifling amount of money.
Exactly. Yeah, we're not trying to humanize him. So as the junkie is lying dead on the ground, we cut to behind the human-sized box, and the girlfriend is crying silently. So Crisp hurries away from the murder scene, drops his gun in a dumpster, and the junkie woman emerges, and she sees her dead boyfriend, and she screams. Kimball, who's running down the maze of back hallways, hears this and comes running and sees her. The girl junkie insists that she didn't kill him, and Kimball says, "Was it Crisp?" And the woman says that she was hiding and she didn't see anything, which, okay, I've got a comment on this.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to this.
I feel like she probably didn't see anything.
I agree. She definitely didn't see it. So we'll get to this in a little bit. So Kimball then, which I thought this was a good move, handcuffs her to the corpse of her dead boyfriend.
That's a boss move. That's rubbish.
Man,
he's like, "Don't go anywhere."
And he runs off, and she's like pulling on the guy's. Oh, it was dark. It was dark, man. So we cut to Crisp is heading into the salon that we saw him in earlier.
The older woman. Yeah. His mother was like just abusing.
Oh
like the person working there. It's like, I don't like what you've done. It's like, it feels terrible and it looks dreadful.
Yeah.
She's like an abusive fucking cunt, this woman.
Just not a good person. The movie, again, like the movie does a good job of like, okay, this is a bad guy. Like we know she's a bad guy.
Yeah.
We do not, we should have no sympathy for her. We should have no sympathy for her son. And boom, like we nailed it.
They crushed it.
Yeah, they crushed it. So Chris goes, "I'm back." And his mom goes, "That was fast." And Chris goes, "That was easy." Which is like an interesting, okay.
Yeah. Do you think she knew exactly like what he was going to do?
I think he was.
That? She's like aware of all his crimes?
Yeah, but like also this begs the whole question of like, did she plan her day around this?
Yeah.
Right? Like
I'll get a manicure. I'll get my hair. I'll get a blowout while you're killing that guy.
Exactly. Like it's like it was just on their Google Calendar, murder junkie and get a hairdo.
Yeah.
So Chris tells his mom that he's got great news, that he found out where his wife and his son are. And his mom is very interested in this. So Chris just tells her, though, "Leave it to me. I got it under control." Right? Which, why wouldn't you just tell her? But whatever. So I love this, too, because one of the employees comes up to him and is like, "Would you like a manicure?" And what was the line? I don't remember the exact line.
Oh, it was the way he said yes, or he said it'd be my pleasure. He said something in a way that made it almost like it made it into like a sexual.
How could I ever say no to you?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was like made it sort of an overtly sexual thing.
It was like really dramatic.
Yeah,
but he was clearly into getting a mani. So
he's like a prissy like sort of guy.
Oh, I believe that he would definitely.
He's all primped and all that.
Yeah. Anyway, right as this is starting, Kimball bursts into the salon with his gun drawn, which...
Finger on the trigger.
I mean...
waving it around.
Just not what you're supposed to do as a cop.
I feel like this is like before the era where they really like trained you to look realistic doing this shit.
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Yeah.
A movie like this, you don't necessarily expect that they have like a great technical advisor to tell them, well, you would never put your finger on the trigger unless you were ready to kill someone.
Anyway, it's hilarious. A cop should not be doing this, but he does it. People start screaming, justifiably. And Kimball interrupts Chris's manicure in the process. He identifies himself and tells Chris that he's under arrest. Chris, like, he stands up. It's like, "Oh, why are you always doing this to me?" Implying that, like, Kimball's been hunting him for a while, which is a really elegant single line of dialogue that tells us a lot about those two relationships, right?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
And so at this point, we know Kimball's a cop. We know Crisp is a bad guy. Crisp insinuating that Kimball's been stalking him. Like, we get the entire tropey relationship between these two characters in a single line of dialogue. Like, that's how economical the script is.
Well, there's like an obsession or a mutual obsession between them.
Right, exactly. Like Batman and Joker level, right? So a couple of uniformed cops, mall cops, charge in, and they order Kimball
with guns.
I know, mall cops.
Who the fuck were these guys?
I have no idea.
It's like if they were real police, there's no way they could be there that fast.
No, not
and
a
mall
chance.
cops, like you said, I don't think they carry guns.
No, pretty sure mall cops don't carry guns, but whatever, it doesn't matter. Kimball says, look, I'm a cop. He hands him his badge and then immediately calls them idiots because he's making an arrest right now, which
yeah, it's strange.
I don't know that that's the best way to ingratiate yourself. All right. The leader of the cops, he immediately gets on the phone to confirm that Kimball's telling the truth. I thought it was convenient that there was a phone less than a step away from him.
Yeah.
That you could just lean over and pick up the phone, but that's
You don't
okay.
mind if I call back to whatever headquarters.
So Chris says that he's got witnesses that he's been having this manicure this whole time.
I mean, witnesses would confirm he just walked in a few minutes after the murder happened.
Exactly.
Like, I feel like this is a weird bluff.
Unless we love to steel man on this podcast. I'm going to steel man. This is a front.
Yes, Crisp owns the salon.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all in his employ.
It's a money laundering operation.
Yeah, so it works if you take it from that perspective. 100% works. Anyway, Kimball says, like, bullshit, I got a witness too, and you're facing murder 1 charges, son. And arrest him.
Mm-hmm.
So, back at the police station, junkie lady, whose name apparently is Cindy, is in the interrogation room complaining very loudly about how Kimball handcuffed her to a dead man.
That's fair. That was, I looked up the building had a very unique look, and I was like, and you could sort of see engraved like on the thing that it was the Los Angeles Municipal Court in Van Nuys or whatever. And I'm like, okay, and I looked it up, and it's like still a courthouse that's in use or whatever. I don't know if they'd be doing interrogations in the courthouse, but I don't know if we're supposed to be able to have read that off the front of the
Van
building
Nuys
either.
is like a borough of LA.
It's in the Valley, yeah.
Yeah, it's in the Valley. I lived in North Hollywood, and it was like a 2-minute drive to Van Nuys from where I lived, and it's small enough that I believe that like the government building would be the courthouse and the police station.
Could be in there. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that. It's small enough that I believe that. Anyway, so in the room with Kimball is Phoebe O'Hara, our first introduction to his foil for the rest of the movie, and she's interrogating Cindy. And meanwhile, Kimball and his captain are watching through a 2-way mirror. The
captain was also in Twins. He was like the stolen car fence in Twins. Who was like, his name is Richard Portnow. He's had like a ridiculous amount of credits.
Oh,
like,
I know. This guy's a character actor.
I'm like, I've seen like almost all these movies, but I guess you're just one of those guys that sort of, you see him and then he's gone from your memory as soon as he's not on screen anymore. But yeah, he's been a steady working actor, like hundreds of credits.
Yeah, straight up. I mean, he's great. I can't, this is the mark of a great character actor, is you instantly recognize them, you don't know their name, and you can't tell what other things they've been in.
Yeah. You're a chameleon, you fill whatever role they need you to do.
And that, honestly, is a skill. That is a real skill.
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
And I love character actors for those reasons. Anyway, Cindy wants to leave, but O'Hara says, like, look, we need you to stay. We need you to go do one of the lineup things.
And she was being super friendly with her.
Yeah,
like,
really.
I'll take you home. And he's like, I'll take you for dinner after. I'll even cook you dinner. Like, trying to play like the nice cop or whatever.
Which I love because this plays into her character very well, which we're going to learn
Food obsessed.
soon. Right? Like, it's crazy. There's not a wasted line of dialogue in this movie.
No, it's really a tight script. It's great.
Yeah. So at this point, Cindy demands to leave. She gets up, and this makes Kimball mad, and he tries to leave. And it's this really great moment where in the interrogation room, O'Hara is telling Cindy to sit. Meanwhile, Kimball's captain has the exact same line of dialogue telling Kimball to stay in the interrogation room. It was a really good moment.
It was an inspired bit of like writing.
O'Hara says, like, look, all you have to do is point your finger at the guy and we can put him away forever. Like, the guy who killed your boyfriend, we can put him in jail forever. And Cindy says, like, he wasn't really my boyfriend.
Classic move.
I know.
Cindy has a beef. Like, I don't want to put a label on the relationship.
I love like he's dead, but she still doesn't want to label it.
We weren't there yet. We hadn't put it. We hadn't defined the relationship. We just like to do heroin together.
We just like to do heroin together. That doesn't mean we're in a relationship. O'Hara has this like great look. She looks into the mirror and rolls her eyes, which is, oh my God, they always do this, right?
Yeah.
So Cindy gets up. She yells at the mirror. It's like, look, I know that you're in there. I'm not going to testify. I'm not going to do a lineup. And she storms out of the interrogation room and flips Kimball off as she leaves. So the captain tries to introduce O'Hara to Kimball, but Kimball is just like not having it, which is, I love it. Like always the protagonist, I work alone, like this standard.
He's like that like classic action hero, Dirty Harry style or whatever.
Straight up. Yeah. Kimball, after Kimball storms off, the captain tells O'Hara that he can be a little bit difficult until you get to know him. And O'Hara has this like really dryly delivered line. I can't wait.
Yeah. I like the captain just lets Kimball like flagrantly disobey him.
Captains in movies are always hilarious.
You gotta have the captain.
I know. They're always angry. They're always ineffectual.
Yes.
Well, I mean, one of my favorites still is from Action Jackson.
That was like an amazing.
Oh my God.
It's me and my wife's Parcheesi night. Like he was like a character. He was like a satire, a spoof.
Right. Yeah.
And what about the dude who was in Last Action Hero, who was like playing a spoof of the angry captain?
That's right. Yeah.
But he was also the angry captain in 48 Hours. The same actor.
Right. Yeah, and he was playing this basically the same role.
He was their teacher in Red Dawn when the parachutes start dropping down.
Oh, that's right. And he dies almost immediately.
Yeah,
that's right.
That dude.
Oh man. This is why you listen to this podcast, because like
it's
we
all
always
so
tie it
related.
in. It all ties in.
But yeah, no, you need the angry captain.
Yeah, gotta
I
have
like that O'Hara and Kimball are like doing an unintentional like good cop bad cop on Cindy.
Yeah. So later, this is the evening at this point, Kimball pulls up in front of a building in Skid Row, and outside there's like just this fucking gangbanger. He's like smacking a woman around. It's just like,
which Kimball just doesn't seem at all interested in even stopping that from happening.
No.
There was the marquee on the theater when they pulled up was like, kudos to them in 1990s. They were still playing the Lost Boys.
Wow.
Which was the cinematographer. This was the same.
Yeah.
The little Easter egg for your ass.
Nice. I love it. I love a good Easter egg.
Oh, it was Lost Boys like in Spanish or whatever. It was like the Latinx neighborhood or whatever, I guess.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So Kimball ignores the physical abuse that's going on, walks towards the entrance, and this like really clearly she's a sex worker.
Yeah.
Is like starts hitting on him.
That was odd. And the woman's like boyfriend or pimp or whoever he was like wasn't feeling it. That woman was credited as Punk Tramp.
That is the name of an alt country band.
Yes.
Anyway, the guy who is beating up that woman tries to stop Kimball from entering, but Kimball then like beats up the thug and just like takes him down and like 2
that
hits.
Dude was crazy familiar to me. I tracked him down. Like he's been in a million movies.
Okay.
His name's Thomas Rosales Jr., but he was in LA Confidential and Speed
Okay.
and Heat, Commando, Face Off, Con Air, and like on and on and on. He was often like a stuntman / goon.
If you needed a guy who could say a line and also take a fall, like he was the guy you
had
went
a Hispanic
to.
look.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, after taking out the 2 goons, Kimball turns back to the other goons that are now hovering around his car because they're immediately going to steal the tires. You know this. And he pulls out a sawed-off shotgun.
From where?
I don't know. Also, why does a cop have a sawed-off shotgun?
Highly illegal.
Very illegal.
It had a scope on it.
Yeah. But he delivers this. It did have a scope on it.
Why?
Why would you need a scope on a sawed-off shotgun?
No.
You're shooting people from 3 feet away.
Yeah.
You're not aiming.
You have nowhere to you can't anchor it on your shoulder.
No,
even.
exactly.
It's just like, anyway.
Anyway, he has this great line. Excuse me, I forgot to introduce myself. My name is John Kimball. Then he pumps the shotgun, and I love my car. It was a great line.
It was a good moment and well delivered. Yeah.
The guy then instantly falls in line.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, yeah, don't worry.
He's like, no, we're going to keep an eye on it for you.
And I love that Kimball walks away, and then the goon mutters under his breath, shit, man, I ought to kick his ass. It's like such a great, ineffectual line. Yeah. So Kimball heads upstairs, and inside the building, there's just obviously a drug-filled rage going on.
Yeah,
it's just an absolute rager. Music is blaring everywhere. Kimball immediately just starts beating people up because that's what you do.
The first guy that he took out was Branscombe Richmond.
Okay.
Who was he's like, it's hot dog time. That guy from Action Jackson, and he was the featured goon in Hard to Kill.
Oh wow!
The dude who he just beat up in the little street kitchen or whatever.
Yeah, famously with the knife and all that nonsense.
Came with the meat cleaver or whatever. But it was that guy. He's just another go-to, you need a guy to get his ass kicked on film.
That's amazing.
Like, I'm here for it.
That's amazing.
He was in Showdown in Little Tokyo doing something. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. See.
Same dudes every movie.
I mean, this is the 80s and 90s, man. There's like 20 people who made all of these movies.
Those dudes were probably living large too.
Oh, I bet.
Like probably fucking doing coke and banging like girls on
Dude,
set or whatever.
yeah,
like,
I know.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
in the new Arnold Schwarzenegger
yeah,
flick.
I can introduce him to him if you bang me. So Kimball's just throwing guys left and right. One of the party goers like pulls out a gun, shoots at Kimball. Kimball ducks out of the way and then just starts shooting with his shotgun.
Oh man, there'd be so much paperwork.
Oh my God, I don't even want to think about this. Also, like, okay, I guess this is a public place, so he doesn't need a warrant to enter.
I don't know what this is. He hasn't identified himself as police.
He hasn't identified himself.
I feel like they're within their rights probably to shoot at. I mean,
absolutely.
Guy barged in with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, qualified immunity for the win? I don't know. Anyway, so Kimball starts shooting the speaker. The music stops. People scream and scatter. And I have a note here. Kids' movies were fucking different in the 90s.
This was a very violent flick. I mean, it had a lot of
surprisingly
it had a
violent.
lot of violence. It's not violent compared to other movies we've done on this podcast.
Right.
Did
But
you
for
read
a
where
movie of this type-
Schwarzenegger wanted the movie to be less violent because he thought it would make more money if it was less violent?
And Ivan Reitman was like, no, we need to establish like all of this stuff. And I think Ivan Reitman was right.
I also do feel like for a kid who was like 9 years old, like I was probably watching this, this is pretty violent.
Awesome.
Like it's pretty violent for
was
like
super violent
for a children's movie.
Now again, I am a horribly tainted human being. By 1990,
oh yeah, you already fucking with Die Hard.
Right. I saw Die Hard in theaters. I'd already seen RoboCop.
I think I was doing like all that shit.
Yeah. So this was like nothing new to me, but still, like it was surprisingly violent for what the intended audience is supposed to be.
For sure.
Now there's no blood. And really, no one gets hit. Like, there's no, no one actually
But not
dies.
for lack of trying, really.
Yeah, right,
I mean,
exactly.
That one dude was like just trying to leave.
Right.
And Kimball like shoved him through a sheet of glass. And it's like, that dude was just trying to get out of there.
Right. It's like, dude, I just came to get my weed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Cindy's there, and there's just like a horrible guy with his arm around her.
This scene was so memorable for me.
Oh yeah,
as all the dialogue was just like ingrained in my brain when I was watching it back. You know, because he's just like Schwarzenegger's doing great work. Let's talk about it.
I agree. Like his line is "Party's over. Everyone go home. Next time, my place." Perfect. Like his
delivery is so good. Yeah.
Yeah. So the guy with Cindy goes, "Who are you, man?" And then at this point, Kimball like pumps the shotgun again, and the guy just dives out of the way as soon as he shoots the couch where he was just sitting.
Like that guy, Kimball has not even identified himself as police yet. He's shooting at a man simply for asking who he was. It's
like
crazy.
If his aim was off even a little bit, he would have killed the whole reason he came to the spot. Anyway, his response to the question is, "I'm the party pooper."
10-year-old Kevin, that line was like stuck in my brain. I'm the party pooper.
so many good lines in this movie. So many good lines in this movie. Kimball then says, "Hey, would you mind if I sit down?" And the goon like scurries away. And Cindy goes, "What are you doing here, asshole?" Which I remember as a kid going, "Wow,
you clutched your pearls."
That was a little bit. Oh. And Schwarzenegger goes, "Cindy, I don't like you using foul language," which is hilarious.
It was like the delivery was very like a disappointed parent. No, I don't like you using foul language. So good.
She goes, "Don't you have something better to do?" And Kimball goes, "You don't understand. I have nothing else to do. I have nowhere else to go." And
it was so good.
He was like explaining to her that if you don't come with me, I will effectively stalk you.
Oh yeah. He's like, "I'm going to be around you a lot. Days, nights, weekends, holidays." So no, you can't.
And on.
I'm going to hang out with you until the end of time.
Which is great because all she would have to do when she brought him in is tell someone this.
This guy's harassing me.
Yeah, exactly. And any testimony that she gives would be completely inadmissible in court. Like
so
completely inadmissible.
Though I just remember all the lines like were stuck in my head. And Schwarzenegger is so like good with like, "I'm going to hang out with you until the end of time." It's like, oh, fuck.
He sold it.
Yeah, I know. He's great.
Really,
so
really his best performance, in my opinion. Like, just really nailed every line. So back at the police station, Cindy is in the lineup room, right? And everybody walks in, and Chris doesn't have his ponytail in. He's just got the long flowing locks.
I was impressed the police pulled together like a lineup of a lot of dudes who looked very similar to Chris.
Yeah.
I'm like, how'd you manage that? Who has like a very specific look, you know?
Yeah. And usually, like, it's just like, you go in there. And if TV comedies are to believe, like, sometimes even cops will dress up and go in
for
there.
sure.
Yeah. Anyway, she immediately points out Chris, who is the man who killed her boyfriend, and O'Hara seems impressed that Kimball got the job done. Okay, so now we're here.
It's amazing what some police brutality will do.
Yeah, but also there's no way she saw Chris.
I don't think so.
No way she saw Chris.
Unless there was like a hole in the box or something.
Well, they feel like we would establish that.
Yeah, no, I don't think she really saw it. Now, she did know that he was waiting to meet Chris, but she did not see it.
Right, and the chances...
Well, she did hear him call her Chris, but the lineup...
Right.
You know, she was lying, I think, when she fingered him.
Basically,
right?
Yeah, because she was being coerced by Kimball.
Yeah. Being strong-armed.
I mean, any good defense attorney is going to, like, explain to me where you were in the warehouse. Oh, I was behind a box. You were behind a box.
Did you actually see it?
Did you actually see him? Right,
Yeah.
exactly. And then it's going to come out that Kimball coerced her. The whole thing's going to be thrown out of court. He's going to walk. I mean, this is not the way you do this. Anyway, that's a different podcast. We're not a legal podcast. So at the hearing, the judge ordered Chris be held in jail until the trial. The bailiff leads Chris away, and he whispers to his mother, "You know what to do."
Which the bailiff apparently wasn't paying attention.
I mean, look.
So then no one noticed.
Right,
that.
and her response is, "I'm your mother, aren't I?" Which I thought was an odd...
Yeah.
Like, okay, what does that mean? Because my mother doesn't run any, like, organized crime rings that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, well,
So-
his mother's different.
I mean, clearly. But the bow that she's rocking, though, like, it's massive. It was an interesting outfit choice for court.
Yes.
So the bailiff leads Chris back to his holding cell, and Kimball appears suddenly, grabs him, shoves him roughly into a small room.
Anything goes, man, in the LA County jail.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, as we've learned at this point. So Kimball says that if Chris gives up the information on his drug trafficking operation, he'll let the judge know that he's being cooperative and maybe, like, get a reduced sentence or something like that. But Chris does not seem concerned at all about this potential murder trial, and nor should he.
Yeah, he's probably
frankly.
right.
Yeah. He says, no jury is going to convict me based on the testimony of one junkie. Correct. Like,
it's kind of inexcusable the police didn't find the gun, which was like, he left at the crime scene essentially like, maybe you tossed this dumpster.
I feel like the dumpster
that's within 100 feet of where the murder happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, we're going to search through all the trash cans. We're going to search through, yeah.
But to steel man it, he did put on the evil villain gloves before he walked
would be
in
no
there, so there's
fingerprints?
no fingerprint.
That's true. That's true. Even if they did find the gun.
Exactly. So Kimball says his wife, who everybody still assumes that she ran off with the $3 million, will make a better witness. Which, again, not a wasted line. Like, we established that really Crisp is not really after, like, his family. I mean, he may have convinced himself of this, but really he's worried about a witness who's going to put him in jail, right?
Right.
And I don't know. I thought it was a good moment.
Well, they're hammering in also about like the whole the wife supposedly took money from him.
Right, exactly. So I mean, it's all very, very useful information. So Chris says, like, look, you've spent years following me around, and without me you wouldn't have a life, which is like the famous white
you're
whale.
Obsessed with me,
right? Exactly.
Yeah. But so many of these movies are like that. Just the good guy's obsessed with the bad guy, or vice versa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or both are obsessed with each other.
Yeah, exactly. So Chris says, my old lady left me because of the money. Yours left because she just couldn't stand the sight of you, which I thought was a great line.
He seems to know a lot about Kimball.
Agreed. I have a note. Why does this guy know so much about Kimball's personal life?
Did he hire like a private eye or something?
It's not clear to me. I do think that there's a prequel movie here with just like this cat and mouse game between Chris and Kimball. So back at the police station, O'Hara is eating a very questionable looking vending machine sandwich.
How was that ever a thing that happened? It was a thing, but that sandwich has been in the vending machine for God knows how long.
I have eaten vending machine sandwiches.
Why?
Because I was young and
what was
stupid.
What was in it? Like tuna salad or something, or like cold cuts?
It was just cold cuts and bread.
But it was not cold, right?
It was not cold. It was room temperature.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Now, in my defense, this was
probably like vacuum sealed. Like I guess
it was vacuum sealed, and it was in a corporate office building where they swapped them out every day.
They have to.
Yeah. But like you don't. It was one of those great old timey vending machines where you could like cycle it around. Like everything was on a turntable.
Was it diagonal cut?
It was all diagonal cut. Yeah, of course.
I mean, I remember this well.
Yeah,
I just don't know. I don't know who would ever actually do that.
Me, I did it.
You're brave enough. You're a brave man.
We're desperate enough. I don't know. I was hungry. Anyway, so Kimball remarks that he's never seen someone so little eat so much, which is relevant. She explains that she's hypoglycemic and asks where Kimball's from, and he says he's from Austria, which awesome. I love for once they actually acknowledge
I'm not from around here.
I'm not from around here.
Kimball,
I thought that was
traditional Austrian name.
Very Austrian. Very Austrian. Yeah. I feel like he changed his name when he came to the States.
I mean,
we could work
they
that
probably
away.
were like runaway Nazis or something.
Probably true. Yeah. So she asks how long he's been a cop, and he says he's been in the force for 12 years. His dad was a cop. His brother was a cop. His mother is a cop's wife. And also he doesn't have any hobbies. So like
he's being such a prick.
Well, and this is fun. This is a fun little factoid. His father was in fact a cop in Austria.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
In fact, a police chief in Austria.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Kimball's going out of his way to be a dick to her. Like, I don't want to talk, basically.
Yeah. Famously, like the loner who doesn't want the partner.
No, I don't. Stop asking me the stupid, small talk questions.
Yeah. So at this point, the captain walks up and he says he's got them booked on a flight to Portland. He says that they're going to Astoria to find Crisp's wife and to see if they offer her immunity, if she'll testify. Kimball does the famous "I work alone" line, which is I love it. It's you got to have that line. If you don't have that line, it's not a movie. The captain says O'Hara's...
He said her name wrong. There was this gag where he kept saying O'Hara's name wrong.
Yeah.
Houlihan or whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Just to express his disdain for her.
He's like could not care less about her humanity.
The captain says O'Hara is going to be going undercover as a substitute teacher at Crisp's son's school, and it's not really a good fit for you, so we have to have her come along, which, again, subtle foreshadowing. It's all great. Yeah. O'Hara says that she's worked as a teacher before becoming a cop. Great. We've established why she works as a substitute teacher. I mean, this is all handled in like 2 lines of dialogue.
Yeah.
And it tells you entire important things about the movie, why they're doing this, what the justification for it is. Again, such a well-written script. I mean, it's so good. So the captain says O'Hara is going to try to find the wife by finding the kid, and Kimball is going to try to track down the missing $3 million, right?
Yeah. That's the hook.
Then there's something about like, and then Crisp is going to be in prison making license plates, which is hilarious because when I was a kid, this was already sort of an anachronism.
Yeah.
Right. And now I'm watching this in 2025 and I'm wondering, is anybody who's like 30 or younger going to understand what that means?
That's a good call.
Right.
It was like a trope or like a cliche when we were little. Right.
Yeah.
Now I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, that made me chuckle.
That is good.
But we're gonna leave you there.
That's a great hook, man. It's a great fucking premise.
It's a great premise. Like,
it's one of these where the pitch would make anybody want to see the movie.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Be like action hero guy is forced to go undercover as a kindergarten teacher.
Brilliant. I mean, that's the easiest elevator pitch ever, right? Like,
I was like, oh, I want to see that movie.
Yeah,
There's so much like stuff to play with. It's very fertile ground, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they have a lot of fun with it, as we'll find out in future episodes.
Exactly. So stay tuned. We're gonna keep going down this rabbit hole, and you're gonna have a lot of fun.
And we'll be back.